Tesla would be the big winner in potential UAW strike. Tesla could be set to benefit from potential strikes against the auto industry's big three in the coming weeks, if negotiations are not completed by an upcoming contract deadline. Employees represented by the United Auto Workers UAW union are approved to strike if demands are not met by the current contract's September 14 deadline, potentially costing a fortune for Ford, General Motors GM, and Stellantis. Upcoming strikes could be slated to significantly benefit Tesla, especially as traditional automakers work to catch up to the company's dominance in the electric vehicle EV market. The UAW has requested that the Big Three grant workers a 46% pay raise, restore traditional pensions, and shift to a 4-day workweek while keeping to a 5-day wage level. As Axios reporter Nathan Bomey pointed out in a recent video segment with Yahoo News, Tesla would be the big winner if there's a big strike. In response, the Big Three have noted increasing competition from Tesla and automakers outside the U.S., arguing that the union's demands are not realistic. The UAW approved strikes against Ford, GM, and Stellantis late last month, amidst concerns that a transition to EV manufacturing could risk a significant loss of jobs at the companies. Alternatively, Bomey explains that Tesla could also stand to win out if the automakers agree to the pay increases since a union does not represent the company. He also questions whether the UAW could attempt to organize Tesla workers again following negotiations with the Big Three. Last year, Tesla CEO Elon Musk invited the UAW to hold votes to unionize its Fremont, California factory, saying that he wouldn't stop them. In the past, most UAW negotiations have targeted a single company at a time, only striking if the parties cannot reach a deal. If a deal wasn't reached, the union would then approach the other two automakers to attempt to negotiate. This time, however, significant speculation remains that workers could hold a strike against all three automakers at the same time. AP News reports that a single 40-day UAW strike in 2019 cost GM $3.6 billion. Strikes could also drive vehicle prices upward, at a time when Tesla has put pressure on other automakers through several price cuts made this year. Source: reposted and summarized from Zachary Visconti at Teslarati. Tesla Cybertruck RC unit spotted up close at Las Vegas Supercharger. A Tesla Cybertruck release candidate RC unit was spotted while replenishing its battery at a Las Vegas Supercharger yesterday, by the YouTube user Tesla Uber Guy, who filmed the encounter and published a short video on his channel, which you can watch embedded at the top of this page. The first thing that caught our attention was that the pickup was parked very close to the stall itself, and with a tow hitch attached, it almost touched the Tesla vehicle charging only sign pole. This, coupled with the position of the charge port next to the rear left wheel, makes the cable stretch quite a bit, compared to a Model Y which has the charge port next to the stoplight. The problem lies with the Supercharger V2 and V3 cable length, which doesn't seem to be sufficient for the size of the Cybertruck. Luckily, V4 is on the way, with multiple stations already operational in Europe, which has a longer cable, measuring about 10 feet. This should be more than enough for multiple Cybertrucks charging at the same time. Check out our podcast New Tesla Model 3 Debuts, Fast Charging versus Slow. Fisker Pear details Lamborghini reveals electric Lanzador, battery recycling in detail, Cybertruck updates. Then, there's the RC build engineering prototype lettering on the sides and tailgate, plus the multiple wires that are glued onto the bodywork, which states the obvious fact that this isn't quite a production-ready unit. In the past, the Cybertruck was spotted wearing multiple camouflage wraps, including a Ford F-150 and Toyota Tundra-like covering, poking fun at two of the best-selling internal combustion engine trucks in the United States. Deliveries of the delayed all-electric pickup are expected to begin sometime this month, with the first units presumably going to Tesla employees. As is usually the case with the company's new models, while reservation holders will get their hands on the highly anticipated EV a bit later. The Tesla Cybertruck was unveiled in 2019 and based on the numerous sightings is expected to be available with air suspension, rear-wheel steering, dual-motor all-wheel drive, an interior ambient lighting setup, and a smaller-than-expected front trunk or frunk. Source: reposted and summarized from Yulia Nistrin at Inside EVS. New Tesla Supercharger includes pull-through charging stalls. Many Tesla owners who tow have experienced difficulty in having to detach their trailers when charging at superchargers. Many have requested pull-through charging lanes, though only a handful of Tesla's charging stations include them. This week, however, the automaker opened one of its largest supercharger stations yet. Featuring a couple of tow-friendly chargers, solar canopies, and a staggering number of regular stalls. Tesla opened a new supercharger station in Quartz Site, Arizona, this week, as posted to the Tesla Charging X account on Tuesday. Along with 4 solar canopies of varying sizes, the station also has 2 charging stalls alongside a pull-through lane, offering easy access for those with trailers. It also has 2 pull-through chargers if you are towing. You can find an ongoing master list of tow-friendly superchargers on the Tesla Motors Club forum, now including the Quartz Site station. Upon completion, the station is set to include 84 supercharging stalls, though only 60 of them are currently active, while the other 24 remain covered. All of them are V3 superchargers, meaning they offer up to 250 kilowatts of max power for faster charging. The new supercharger station is located at 370 Main Event Lane in Quartz Site, Arizona, not far from another station, including both V2 and V3 stalls. Crucially, the station is also right off of the heavily traveled Interstate 10, which runs through several southern states from Florida to California. The news comes just months after automakers including Ford, General Motors GM, Rivian, and more announced plans to build their future models with Tesla's charging port. The shift will give these and other brands access to Tesla's vast supercharging network. Though many current owners have expressed concerns over stations becoming extremely busy. In Tesla's update letter for the first quarter of the year, the automaker noted that it had 4,947 supercharger stations, marking a 33% increase year-over-year, and representing as many as 269 stations built in Q1 alone. Since posting the recent Quartz Site station on Tuesday, the Tesla charging account has also shared 10 other new supercharger stations with a total of 129 new stalls. Source: reposted and summarized from Zachary Visconti at Teslarati. Tesla yoke steering wheel price increased to $1,000. Tesla has increased the price of the yoke steering wheel option for the Model S and Model X at $1,000. According to its online configurator, as spotted by Sawyer Merritt on X. The controversial steering wheel has had quite a ride since its introduction in 2021 as part of the 2 flagship EVs refresh, when it became the only choice for newly configured cars, while the normal round steering wheel was nowhere to be found on the options list. However, things started to change a few years later, after people complained about the yoke's lack of practicality, especially at low speeds. So Tesla introduced a round steering wheel in January 2023 as the standard spec for the Model S and Model X, while the yoke was transformed into a no-cost option. Then, in March, the Austin-based EV maker ran a brief retrofit campaign where owners of yoke-equipped vehicles could get a round steering wheel installed at a Tesla service center for $700. A month later, the yoke became a $250 paid option, and now it costs $1,000. This latest change is part of the firm's ongoing and increasingly hard-to-track series of updates to its pricing and options availability. In a week, Tesla lowered the price of FSD, removed the standard range trim for the Model S and Model X, and significantly cut their MSRPs. Launched the refreshed Model 3, added the AutoSteer on city streets function to its so-called full self-driving system, and made all the paint options for the Model S and Model X free. As for the future of the yoke steering wheel, the EV brand is reportedly working on an updated version of it, with improved materials and a shape that combines a normal wheel and the current jet fighter-like model, without the cutout at the top. Source: reposted and summarized from Yulia Nistrin at Inside EVS. Tesla won't invest in building a factory in Indonesia anytime soon. Tesla is unlikely to start establishing a manufacturing plant in Indonesia anytime soon, the minister said. After meeting with Elon Musk last month, Tesla made it clear that due to the unfavorable situation on the world stage, the company will suspend investment in new international production sites. Indonesia does not expect Tesla to invest in the country anytime soon. This was announced after the Coordinating Minister for Maritime Affairs and Investment Luhut Panjaitan met with Elon Musk last month. At the time, he shared what had been discussed during the meeting. Tesla has made it clear that it does not plan to invest in international manufacturing sites anytime soon due to the unstable economic situation in the world. I said fine. We are doing okay. If you cannot invest in Indonesia for a moment, no problem, said Panjaitan. Speaking Wednesday at the Bloomberg CEO Forum in Jakarta, Panjaitan again clarified that Musk was concerned about the global economic outlook and oversupply in the electric vehicle industry. Indonesian officials have repeatedly said that Tesla intends to build a factory to produce electric vehicles and batteries. Similar statements appeared as early as 2022. It is possible that the parties really discussed partnership. However, Elon Musk has refuted several reports claiming that Indonesia and Tesla are close to signing a deal. Panjaitan also said that Musk is going to visit Indonesia in October for talks between SpaceX and the government over the provision of Starlink satellite internet services in the country. The collaboration could help connect Indonesia's rural areas, especially in the east, for better access to education and health services. Source: reposted and summarized from Eva Fox at Tasmanian.